Hey, what is up, everybody? My name is Nick Offenkamp with the Tartan team, and welcome back to entry number 2 in the Diaries of a Real Estate Agent. That still feels goofy to say, but you know what? I am sticking with it. Today, I want to talk a bit about what it is that I am seeing in the market, especially here in Clark County, Washington. Share a few thoughts, and hopefully that'll be helpful to you. If this is your first time though watching and you're wondering what the heck is the Diary of a Real Estate Agent, well, 2 months ago I had a vision for a new real estate company business. The Tartan team is what I'm calling it. A little ambitious right now because the team currently consists of me. But the goal is to grow it and to do real estate different, to do real estate right, to make a very you-centered experience and take out the ego that so often accompanies elite agents. We want to be elite. We want to be the very, very best, but we want for you to know and experience that. We don't need to brag about it to everybody and anybody else. Let's talk about what it is that I am seeing in the real estate market, because I'm sure, as you've heard and as you've probably seen, people lighting their hair on fire over the fact that the 30-year conventional interest rates are now up over 8%. I'm recording this in late October, and yeah, we're over 8%, which is a day that I know no American wanted to see come, especially not if you were looking at buying a house. And there's just no way around it. Like that, having rates as high as they are, it makes affordability extremely tough. I mean, we were talking about how tough affordability was when rates had hit 6%. We were gasping when rates hit 7%. And it's really hard to wrap your mind around the difference in monthly payment and affordability from 7% to 8%, much less 6% to 8%. It is knocking out a lot of home buyers. And I've got a lot of thoughts on that. I mean, one, it is just sad. I feel bad for so many of the folks who had been saving and saving and saving and looking forward to buying a home, and for powers that were outside of their control with the interest rates, it has made it completely unaffordable, unattainable for them to get into a home right now. And so if that is you, I feel ya, and I want to encourage you to hang in there. And it's still not too soon for us to connect. And one, I'll hear your woes, whether that's over a cup of coffee or over a beer. I'm game to hear about your experience. Also can be helpful to just sort of set up a search in case something pops up. There are some different options with seller finance, assumable mortgages. Anyway, I'll save that for another time, but I want you to know, good grief, I feel your pain if that's the situation you're in. Now, I realize that this transition might feel like salt in the wound, but there's a lot of people that when rates hit 6.5%, they were saying, oh yeah, I'm not gonna buy a home, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until rates come down. And it was a reasonable thing, I suppose, at that point to expect that rates couldn't go much higher than 6.5%. Surely they would come back down in the next 6 months. But that's not what happened, despite what so many people's crystal balls were telling them. We got to send those crystal balls back and get a refund because they were so dang wrong. Interest rates just continued to climb up. And so even though it might have been a stretch for some people to get into a home when rates were 6.5%, it's unattainable at 8%, and they're kicking themselves for not having moved forward back when they could have. And so why do I say that? Well, because some of you are looking at the housing market right now, and the 8% is uncomfortable, but you could still buy a home, and there are still options out there. Well, my encouragement to you would be that, hey, if there's a home that you love and you can afford it, you can make it work, I seriously encourage you to do that, because worst case scenario is that rates just continue to go up forever and then at least you locked in at 8%. Now, most likely it won't be the worst case scenario. At some point, rates will come back down. And I know you've heard this, you're probably sick of hearing it, but the reality is that if you buy a home that you love and you locked in your interest rate at 8% and rates do come down, well, that's great news for you because you're already in a home that you love and you have the opportunity to refinance your loan and drop your monthly payment to a more reasonable interest rate. So I do encourage you, that's one of the biggest things that I'm seeing with buyers right now who are on the fence and waiting for conditions to improve. You can't bank on the fact that conditions will improve. And so if there's a way to get into a house that you like, I'm not saying buy something that you hate, don't ever do that. But if there is something that you like and you can reasonably swing it, well, it's probably worth swinging the bat and trying to get into it. And self-serving, hello, I am in real estate. I would be more than happy to help you in that process. Now, if you are a cash buyer, I am so jealous of you, but this is a wonderful, wonderful thing for you because the interest rates have knocked out so many other buyers from the market that if you have a strong cash position, well, geez, this is the kind of market that you dream of. Maybe the only downside to it as a buyer right now, if you're a cash buyer, is the fact that the inventory is so stinking low. And so that's a hard dynamic that there's just not, some of that's because of rates being where they are. Some of it's just the time of the year that we're in as we're headed into the holidays. I don't anticipate there's going to be a ton of homes that pop on the market between now and the end of the year. But if you are actively looking and you're in that cash position and you can find something that you like, move on it, and you are in a stronger position to negotiate purchase price and terms. But I wouldn't even overdo it too much on that, because as long as you're getting a good deal relative to what sold in the last 12 months with 12 months of comps, you can be reasonably well assured that when rates inevitably do drop, whether that's a year, 3 years, 5 years from now, because of how much pent-up demand there is in the market, once those rates come down, there's going to be a lot of appreciation. Basically, your equity is going to go up in your house. House values are going to go up. This is a good time to buy if your goal is to build equity and you're able to get into something that you really like. Now, on the seller side, I am seeing a lot of sellers who are pricing their homes way too high. And now that's always an issue within real estate. You're always going to have folks that list their home way too high. And sometimes that's a legitimate listing strategy. I don't always dissuade somebody from doing that because if you're not in a rush to move, you don't have to get out, but you just want to test the market and see, then sure, list your home at absolute top dollar and just wait for the best and highest offer to come in until somebody gives you something that you're excited about. But for most people, that is not the winning strategy. For most people, the winning strategy is to price your home very competitively, to price it right in line, if not even just a little bit under what the fair market value for your home is, because what you want to do is you want to drive as much interest as possible in your home. You want to get as many eyeballs on it, as many people coming through it with showings and open houses, in the hopes that you'll be able to get multiple offers that bring the purchase price up to the highest dollar that the market is willing to pay at that particular point in time. And then with multiple offers, you're likely going to get the very best terms as well, because not only will you have a winning offer, but hopefully even a backup offer, which just, you never know in real estate. A deal, there's a saying that, babies cry, dogs bark, and deals fall apart. And every real estate agent knows it, and perhaps you even have experienced that in your journeys of buying and selling homes, where you've had things that seemed like it was the perfect house and it was all moving along smoothly until it wasn't, and the deal fell apart. So Having multiple offers, having backup offers, having a lot of interest in your home that's driven all at one time is going to be really important because, yeah, you're going to get top dollar that way. But even still, in getting top dollar, that only matters if the house actually closes. And so you're going to have the best chances of closing quickly when you're priced competitively. So that's something that I always encourage my clients to think about. And I think that sellers right now are just really having to readjust their expectations of what home values are. It's easy to look at what your neighbor's house sold for 2 years ago, but you forget that 2 years ago, interest rates were at 4.5%. And so the affordability was just totally different calculation for most buyers. And so you got to realize there's a lot less buyers in the market. The buyers that are out there, by and large, most of them are a whole lot more choosy, picky. And so if you're going to attract as many of those buyers as possible, well, you got to be competitive. You got to be reasonable in your pricing. And that's where it really helps as a seller to have somebody like myself who can give that dose of reality, who can do a deep dive into all of the comps, not just what's listed. It's also easy to look at what's listed on Zillow and be like, well, that home right across the street from me, that one's listed for X amount of dollars. And it's like, well, that's great, but that's not exactly telling of what the value of the home is, especially if it's been listed at X amount of dollars and it hasn't sold in 90 days. That would speak to the fact that that home was priced wrongly. And so you don't want to look, compare, to faulty or bad data. You compare to bad data, you're going to get bad results. And so that's one of my primary aims as an agent, is to help you get good data so that you can have good results. That's what I'm seeing. Buyers, it's tough, but there are deals to be had, deals to be found. Classic real estate line. It's never a bad time to buy a home. And there is a sense in which I know that that's cheesy and corny, but I do actually believe that. And that's one of the reasons that I remain in real estate, is because I do see real estate as being one of the number one wealth builders for most Americans. And I love helping people set themselves up for a brighter and better future. And home ownership is just an amazing way to attain that envisioned future. And so I want to help as many people as I possibly can get into homes that they absolutely love, build equity, and make a great return on their investment, and live good lives while they're in those homes. And the same is true of being able to work with sellers. You've invested so much of yourself, of your life, of your efforts and time into the home that you're in. So of course there's going to be some sentimental value. And so when I'm listing your home, I want to understand how you've lived in it. I want to know all the things that you've loved. I want to hear the stories, because I think that by understanding all of that, those things are going to come out in the ways that we talk about the home, the ways that we stage it, the ways that we even capture it in photo and video. And I think that when we can tell the story of the home, we do a better job of engaging the emotions of the buyer and helping to paint the picture of their own dream life in your home. And when people can really see themselves living their best life in a place, well, it's just amazing what they're willing to sacrifice or to give to obtain that dream. I realize it could sound a little manipulative, but it's not. It's really just helping people see things in the best possible light to help them use their imagination. And that's really what all of marketing is. And that's the other reason that I'm in real estate, because not only do I enjoy helping people achieve greater positions financially in life, achieve their best life, but I also just really love the creative aspects that come with marketing a home. So if you're thinking about buying, thinking about selling, obviously we'd be more than happy to connect. You can do that at thetartanteam.com, or you can shoot me an email, nick@thetartanteam.com. Admittedly, this entry in the diary was far more business oriented than I was anticipating, but hopefully these thoughts are helpful to you out there. If you've got thoughts on buying or selling homes right now in the climate of 8% interest rates, well, I'd love to hear that. So drop a comment below. And then if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you give the little thumbs up, click that. That just helps me know that, hey, what I'm building with the Tartan team, there's a real value in it. And I know that, but nevertheless, helpful to have that affirmed every now and again. So if you like what you're seeing here, want more of it, you can let me know by commenting, subscribing, clicking the little like button, and even sharing it with a friend. All right, y'all, that's it for today, but I look forward to getting back, connecting with you, whatever that looks like soon. So thanks.